So this morning we're on a 2015 23 Albury, and I want to show you one of our new products today, and we're going to show you just how easy it is to change out an existing outrigger base out to our new Deluxe base. But we're very proud of this product. We hope that this will satisfy a niche in the market for the boats under 30 feet to give them the same usage as our blue water base, being able to deploy and raise and lower your outriggers with a one-handle operation from underneath the T-top, so that you don't have to get up onto the gunnel and stand up to adjust your rigger to go up and down. And keeps the same quality that we have, but also helps to present an economical option to have a base for a boat, let's say 30 feet and under. In the next few minutes, we're going to show you just how easy it is to take this out and replace it. We're going to take out these four through bolts, remove the handle from this, pull the through bolts out, pull this plate down, and then we'll just lift this base out of the hole, and then we'll replace it with our base back in. Now the beauty of this one is that it matches what's most standard for all boats, is a 3x5 hole pattern, bolt pattern for the base, and then a 4x6 inch landing plate on the top plate for the top of the T-top, and then we're also going to be using, which is the matching 4x6 backing plate, which will go on the underside of this, on the bottom of the T-top itself. So for the project today is swapping out these bases. We're gonna utilize a few components of our Gemstallation kit that we offer on our website. We're gonna use out of this is we've got some chrome-plated stainless lock nuts and some chrome-plated stainless flat washers that we'll be using out of this. We also offer, what comes with the kit, are some chrome-plated fasteners from 1/4-20s to through bolts to some self-tapping wood screws. But one of the things we just wanted to mention to you about this base application is that the thicknesses of the T-tops are going to vary. So for this instance, the through bolts that we offer are going to be just shy or just a little short to make it through. So we had to go to our local hardware store and purchase some 3/16 stainless through bolts in order to make this application work. So for the first step of this, of removing this older base for this particular brand of bases, we're going to have to remove the handle from this base, and it's just going to take an Allen key with a couple set screws and pull these out. And then once we get these out of the way, then we'll be able to pull this handle out. We can get the through bolts out and then lift this base completely out of the T-top. It's a little cumbersome, but that's why we're replacing it. Going back with newer and way better. All right, so the set screws are out. We're going to pull the handle out, set that out of the way. Next, we're just going to remove these four through bolts, and these are 1/4-20, so it's just going to be a Phillips head screwdriver and a 7/16 socket or wrench. Move these guys out. So as you'll see, you're probably wondering why I'm using a hand tool as opposed to using an impact of sorts. It would be a lot faster that way, but one of the major problems with using power tools is that the tip of the impact, or whatever you're using, if it's got you can run it too fast and you can strip the head of the screw, which is a major problem for down the road if you're trying to take it out later. Second of all, it's going to help accelerate the rusting process on the stainless steel bolts, and then that'll be another problem. You'll have what we call the ring of fire, which starts that really well. So just doing it by hand tools, you can do it nice and easy. Be able to put the screwdriver in, hold a nice little spot, and not try to turn it too hard and booger up the tops of your through bolts. Got our last lock nut. Set of washers off. Take the base plate away. Backing plate's off. We're just going to take these four bolts out and get those out of the way, so it makes it easier to pull out. Then all we got to do now is just pop this out, and we're ready to put the new one in. Okay, so we've removed the existing base, got it out of the top. We're going to go back in with our new base. This is the Deluxe base we're going back with. So the easiest thing to do on this is, because it's hard to manipulate getting the base through the mounting hole and down is if you'll just pull the handle down just a tad and kind of rest it on the hole as you're coming through, and then grab it with your fingers and just ease it back down in there, and then just snap it back up into place. And honestly guys, the hardest part about this whole process is this little part right here, and that's just being able to line up your through bolts that go through the top, through the gasket that we provide that comes with it, that we ask you to please highly recommend that you either use the gasket that comes with it, or if at the very least you bed it with something no less than 4200 to help create any kind of corrosion from building up on the underside of it. So, we've got our backing plate, and you'll notice on the backing plate, we've got a rounded edge on one side and a little bit harder edge on the other. The rounded side is going to be the side that goes down, and this side will be the edge that goes up against the T-top. We're just going to slide that up into the hole so we can feed it through the gasket, and we've got it. And then we're going to go with a flat washer and a lock nut on the top. So for now, we're just going to get them on and get it finger tight until we get the other three in, and then we'll tighten them up. I like to do the opposite corners, that way it kind of helps hold things up, and especially when we come down to tightening these, we'll tighten one side, go to opposite corner, tighten it, and then go to the opposite side and do the same. That way we get a nice even pull all the way through. Up and in. So this is a good time to tell you about my general rule of fives. If you'll notice, we've got 4 is what we need. Generally, I like to keep 5 around because inevitably at some point you're liable to drop one in the water, and to save yourself an unwanted trip back to the hardware store and burning up more time, it's always good to just have an extra one around. Because trust me, I've been down that road before and it's bumpy. So now we're just going to do this again with the hand tools because we don't want to burr up or ding up any of the heads of our through bolts. And get that kind of started. Then we're just going to hold with the Phillips head and turn with the wrench on the top. We're just going to get that snug to start with. And then, like I said, we'll move to the opposite corner and do the same thing. And then we're just going to go all the way around it until we get it down snug tight where we want it. You notice I can hold with the wrench on the top because we got a lot of free play until we get it pulled down tight. We got it tight. Now we're just going to go back to where we started, because now you notice that this one is back loose where it was tight now that we've tightened those other ones. That tight. And also too, one common problem with using stainless nuts on a stainless through bolt is a problem called galling, and generally happens when you run a nut down too fast on top of the bolt. So that's kind of why it's good on this instance to get it started hand tight, and then just go slowly with the wrench and pull it down tight to prevent that from happening. And that's it. So we've got good compression from the top of the outrigger base onto the backing plate. It's squeezed out our gasket a little bit, which is what we want to see. Nice and tight on the boat. Now all we've got to do is pop the poles in, rig them up, and we're ready to go fishing.